Well, joining us, interfaith activist, human rights defender Maytham AL-SALMAN. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What brings you to Paris?
Well, I was actually attending the UPR review of Bahrain in Geneva, and I dropped over to meet some of my human rights colleagues over here.
Are you frustrated by the fact that Bahrain doesn't get much play in news bulletins usually?
It's unfortunate that the systematic human rights violations in Bahrain are one of the worst in the region. However, if we even look at the UPR review, if you look at the recommendations presented by governments to Bahrain, including France, it's clear that there's international consensus that the human rights situation in Bahrain is heading into a troubled area, and this could lead to further unrest and could lead to further violence in Bahrain. However, the international community is not weighing in to pressure the government of Bahrain to have human rights reforms and political reform, and to ensure the inclusion of all social factions in the political and social process in Bahrain.
When there was the Arab Spring that broke out, there was this uprising. We saw that there were human rights activists, but there were also the grievances of a Shia majority that feels oppressed by a Sunni minority.
Well, at the end of the day, there is a reality, and this reality is that 65 to 70% of the religious demography of Bahrainis is from a Shia background. And it's very unfortunate that this 65% has been subjected to systematic discrimination, to systematic marginalization, and it's very natural for them to be at the head of any movement calling for reform and calling for equal citizenship. The human rights defenders were involved in supporting who believe that Bahrain, in order to create an environment where human rights are respected, it's more than necessary to have a reconciliation process, to have equal citizenship, to eliminate all forms of discrimination. And this is where they're driven from at the end of the day, including Nabil Rajab, including Abdel Hadi Al-Khwaja, who's currently on hunger strike, protesting against the degrading treatment of prisoners of conscience in Bahrain. But in general, the situation in Bahrain over the last couple of years has been getting worse and worse, and the international community has not been weighing in to exert effective and effectual pressure on Bahrain.
Maytham AL-SALMAN, as somebody who advocates interfaith dialogue, how much feedback or support are you getting from Sunni clerics?
Well, at the end of the day, it's very unfortunate that the entire region right now is in a tense sectarian alignment. And this is why it's very important for Bahrain to diffuse these tensions rather than increasing these tensions. We definitely have support from Sunni clerics who intend to see a peaceful reconciliation process in Bahrain, who intend to see things move forward. But the government of Bahrain recently has been taking actions in the direction of how can I put it into words, of really pushing the Shia community to feel they're victims of discrimination. They're being targeted based on their religious background. Ayatollah Sheikh Isa Ahmed Qasim, who happens to be the highest religious authority for the Shia community, and he's one of the founding fathers of the current constitution in Bahrain. He actually participated in writing the first constitution of Bahrain. His nationality was revoked recently, and there's currently a complete siege on the place he lives in, Duraz. So the government of Bahrain is not paving the way forward for reconciliation.
Maytham AL-SALMAN, many thanks for joining us here on France 24.